So iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max are getting some huge changes, and one of the most interesting one is actually a tinier Face ID system, kind of. Because in the past, certain leakers said it's gonna be underneath the display and only one punch hole cut out for the selfie camera, but none of them is true. Actually, what is happening is the Face ID module is getting even more wider, and the flood illuminator, which is responsible for the infrared projection, is actually getting underneath the display, but it is also sitting in the left topmost corner of the display, which is why the module is more wider, but the tinier dynamic island is actually able to do the Face ID as well as the selfie camera, because the rest of the parts of the Face ID and the cameras are sitting right beside each other. Next one might be a little bit confusing to you, but here is the thing. The iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max will have the same design as the 17 Pro and Pro Max, which was recently revamped, so that's not going to change. The camera plateau to the rear glass housing with the aluminum body, everything will be similar, which is great, but hopefully they will improve the aluminum quality this time, and maybe they will fuse some other materials with it, I don't know. But one thing that is changing is that the two-tone color finish is changing. According to some reports, the rear ceramic sealed area, the glass part for the MagSafe, is rumored to feature a more frosted but a very seamless appearance, so that it matches to that aluminum color very well. It's gonna be like the monotone finish of the older models. But what about the color options? Do we have all the color options? Well, yes. The most unique color this year is gonna be dark cherry. Unlike the last year's orange, which was really vibrant and not a lot of people liked it, this year it's going to be dark cherry, a much more premium color, and you can see it on the screen. Alongside that, we'll have the light blue color. Now, this is not similar to the iPhone 13 Pro Max's light blue color. There is a slight difference. This is more saturated one compared to that one, if this render is almost 100% correct. And then there is the typical white or silver and black color option. But alongside this, the dimension will change very slightly. It's gonna be slightly more thicker, like about 0.05 mm. And this is mostly maybe because of a bigger battery, or maybe they want to sell you newer cases. Could be either of them. But that's the important thing to note. Next, few important things. The A20 Pro chip. The A19 Pro chip is incredible, and it was based on 3nm processor node of TSMC. But this year, this is going to be the first iPhone chip to feature the 2nm architecture of the TSMC with the A20 Pro chip. And similar story for the A20 chip as well, but it will have less powerful CPU cores or less GPU cores. But at least some A20 chips, mostly A20 Pro chips, are expected to have RAM integrated directly onto the same wafer as the CPU, GPU, or even the NPU, rather than sitting close to the chip and connected. Now, this is mostly for faster performance and overall better task for Apple Intelligence and stuff, or even longer battery life for that matter, because power efficiency is a big thing. And similarly, it will also take up much less space inside the iPhone compared to the previous chips. Because if you don't know, Apple usually have a very little tiny motherboard, a double stacked motherboard for every single iPhone since, I don't know, iPhone 12 or something like that. But whatever. This is going to be based on TSMC's 2nm processor node, and that's the exciting part. It is going to be about 15% faster in terms of CPU performance compared to the A19 Pro. Now, next is the C2 modem. Now, the C2 modem of its own is going to be like faster, better, much more efficient compared to the C1 chip inside the iPhone 16e. With the C2 modem, iPhone 18 Pro models will reportedly support for 5G via satellite for web browsing without Wi-Fi or cell connectivity. That's a big important thing, man. And now this could also mean that in the future we might not even need SIM cards in it, because we already lost the ability to put a physical SIM card in it. It's all eSIM. Then in the future we might even lose that functionality too. And Apple can charge whatever they want. This is pretty interesting though. Maybe not the best thing for us, but pretty interesting. In other ways, and this is not happening in every single iPhone, it is actually going to be still restricted to certain part of US and Canada, just like it was last time. And why we are saying it, because currently Apple partners with Globalstar for its iPhone satellite features. While it is not Starlink for sure, but here's the thing, things could work out anytime. And SpaceX by Starlink actually recently added support for the same radio spectrum that Apple uses for its iPhone satellite features. That could simply mean that there is a possible deal coming. But tell me about your thoughts in the comment section below about this. Anyway, the N2 chip that enables Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6 and everything else is gonna be inside the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max. So better Wi-Fi, better Bluetooth and things like that will happen. We still don't know what else we can expect with the N2 chip at this point, but yeah, But the next thing is kind of something that we expected. Simplified camera control button. Yes, it was already too problematic on the older iPhone models, and now it will only have pressure sensitivity, no touch sensitivity or haptic feedback at all. And this is mostly down to two reasons. One, people aren't liking that feature too much, and that people are kind of finding it useless. And the second one is actually cost cutting. Those things actually cost a lot more. I think we are not going to complain about that. Next is the LTPO Plus display. Well, even though the screen size is going to be similar, 6.3 inch and 6.9 inch display sizes for the Pro and Pro Maxes, and everything else is going to be similar. The dimensions are not changing, so the bezel size are going to be very similar to the current model, which is already so slim. I totally love it, but it will feature the so-called LTPO Plus display technology, according to ET News. And this will actually allow the under-screen infrared technology that I already talked about, and it will also be much more efficient while still being a lot more brighter. I will definitely update you guys about the upcoming iPhone 18 Pros and Pro Maxes display brightness, the peak brightness. But as of now, it's not known. So it will contribute to longer battery life with the LTPO Plus display. Rest of everything like 1 to 120Hz ProMotion, gonna be similar. Now the most interesting thing, the 48 megapixel trio camera, like the triple cameras, 48 megapixel, all of that staying the same, no change. But there is going to be variable aperture for the main camera, which would actually allow user to control how much amount of light that passes through the camera's lens and reaches to the sensor, the main sensor. This would actually provide more greater control over the depth of field, also the amount of light you need inside the photo or the video. Now, because camera sensors on the phones are usually smaller in size, so it's not going to be that huge of a change as a DSLR camera or something like that. But because it's Apple, with the computational photography and all of that, it can do certain magics that we are not expecting. So I'm still hopeful about that. And also, the telephoto camera is not going to be any more fixed focus camera. So this is a very interesting thing. If you don't know, the current 17 Pro or even the older 14 Pro had f1.78 camera aperture, a fixed one, and that would change with the iPhone 18 Pro. I don't know how many stops gonna be inside the aperture setting, like f1.4 and f1.8 or something like that, or maybe even more than that. And that's totally up to Apple. Now, there were some rumors that say that the camera sensor is gonna change and it's gonna be a bigger sensor than the last model, which it should, because if it's coming with the variable aperture, then it also should come with a bigger sensor, a bigger size sensor. Maybe the megapixel count gonna be similar, but bigger size sensor is expected. But we don't have any confirmation about that as of now. Let me know about your thoughts in the comments below. Did you expect a bigger camera sensor inside the iPhone 18 Pro and Pro Max?
And yes, if you want, you can get some crazy cool wallpapers up on my website. A link down below. Until the next one, bye and take care.